Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara yang telah terakreditasi unggul.
Selamat garap skripsi harus semangat.
This is UMSU FM.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everybody, with Xiaomi here and on your frequency 91.6 UMSU FM Medan, and of course you can watch me on our YouTube channel UMSU FM Medan. Happy to see you again guys on our program English on Air from English Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, and I'm already with Sunrise and Fadil, like I have a bodyguard because you use all black. And we also, teman anak muda listener, we have our guest speaker who will introduce by Sunrise and Fadil. So Sunrise and Fadil, time is yours.
Well, thank you very much Kak Yomi for the time, teman-teman anak muda. Well, kita ketemu lagi di English on Air episode 5. So teman-teman anak muda, wherever you are, kita sangat bahagia teman-teman anak muda bisa kembali lagi here with us listening. Whenever you are, whatever you are doing now, we hope everything goes well. Kita berdoa semoga segala aktivitasnya akan berkah dan baik-baik saja. Well, teman anak muda, we're back here with Fadil. Okay, so teman anak muda, kita akan introduce lagi sepertinya. Well, my name is Sunrise Nahtiti. You can call me Bro Sunrise. I'm from the English Education Study Program at UMSU. And this is my partner,
Bro Fadil.
Okay, as the same major as me, English Education at FKIP UMSU. Well, teman anak muda, without further ado, kayaknya kita teman anak muda sudah sangat excited to be here. Well, actually we're gonna discuss about something good today, which is deep learning in education, in terms of Indonesian education. Well, we're gonna talk more about transforming teaching and also learning at the same time. Well, teman anak muda, sedikit berbicara tentang deep learning. Well, kita sering dengar belakangan ini deep learning has become one of the most trending topic. Ya, Fadil ya.
Yes.
Dan ini menjadi sesuatu hal yang which is important to know. Because at the same time, kayaknya kita pun kadang ngerasa we misunderstood more about deep learning. So we are here already with our amazing speaker, which is Mem Rini Ekayati SSMA. Well, welcome here, Mem Rini.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, mungkin Mem Rini boleh sapa teman-teman anak muda dulu, Mem.
Halo teman-teman anak muda. Good morning everybody. Nice to meet you all. I'm Rini Ekayati. I'm one of the lecturer at FKIP UMSU. Today I'm really great and honored to share this topic on deep learning. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Mem Rini. Well, teman anak muda udah nggak pada sabar nih kayaknya, Dil ya. So let's just start the topic. So without further ado, Fadil, is your time now.
Okay, alright, ma'am. So recently deep learning has become one of the hottest topic in Indonesian's educations. And however, many people still misunderstand about what is deep learning. In your perspective, ma'am, actually what does actually means about deep learning, ma'am?
Okay, thank you Fadil for the very nice question for the starting point talking about deep learning.
Yes.
Actually, yes, it is a still very new topic to be discussed in Indonesia curriculum, since it's only be added into curriculum just on 2024. So it's very a new one. So it is very reasonable that everybody like us still got very confused about what is the deep learning concept is. Some people thought that it is related to artificial intelligence, right? But in the context of Indonesian curriculum, deep learning does not really mean related to artificial intelligence. Okay. Deep learning here in Indonesian curriculum stands for built up by the three principle and the three learning experience. Okay. The principle we already know is like mindful, meaningful, and joyful. I'm sure that you already heard about that kind of term, right? Meaningful, then mindful, and joyful. So the three pillars of the deep learning in Indonesia curriculum. So by context, we can say that deep learning is not new curriculum. That's for the first one.
Oh, okay.
This is just an approach that being added to the existing curriculum Merdeka.
Okay.
So this is kind of a learning approach attached to that curriculum Merdeka. Yeah, and then that's the one, and then it's not related to artificial intelligence
Oh,
in the
okay.
Indonesian context. But artificial intelligence can be implemented in the deep learning implementation.
Okay,
So,
well, yes.
yeah, that's the magic of deep learning, right?
Well, okay, thank you. Wow, this is new information, teman-teman anak muda. Well, I think a lot of people here still misunderstand about deep learning ya. Kita masih mengira deep learning is all about AI.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
and then as we heard before, like Ma'am Rini has explained to us that, yeah, it's another thing. It's not the same thing as we understand before. Well, yeah. It's something interesting by the way, ma'am. So let's just talk deeper ya. Mungkin setelah ini kayak ma'am tadi sudah mengatakan bahwasannya it is not the same as artificial intelligence. Well, let's just talk deeper. Why do you think deep learning has become so important in Indonesia today? While what challenges in teaching and learning is the country trying to solve? Karena as we know, ketika ada sesuatu hal yang baru, which is at the same time there must be a problem to solve. Okay, what is it, ma'am?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, I think that the importance of adding this approach, deep learning approach, into our education system, into our curriculum, as far as I concern and we concern know that all the time that the system of education just we may say that it's still concerned to the how can a student pass their exam.
Okay,
Right?
yes.
So our concern as student as well, just think that okay, we just have to make sure that we can pass the exam. So to pass the exam, previously we just the teachers and the student concerned that learning and teaching just focus to how that can the student can pass this exam without thinking about do they still remember what they have learned in the class.
Okay.
So by this deep learning, it's try to make the student just not memorizing
Okay.
or remembering the pattern of the answer system, but also after they passing their exam, they still have the memory, they still have the knowledge, they still can apply the knowledge into their real life. So we need this kind of approach actually into our new curriculum, just to make the essence of learning being more realistic, being more
Okay.
closer to our student. So just not concerning about how can we get past the exam, just not in that way. Because when the teacher or the student just thinking about to passing their test or their exam, they can do in the traditional way, we can say like that, by
Yes.
memorizing,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
knowing the pattern,
Yeah.
by remembering the formula of something, and then after passing the exam they forget about it.
Yes.
Okay, maybe it's our experience as well as student,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We just concerned about the theory, we can just concerned about the pattern, we just concerned about what we are learning just to pass our exam.
Yes, that's
But
a problem.
after that examination, we usually forget.
Yeah, we forgot
what
all.
we are learning.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes we are asking ourselves, what the need of learning mathematics, for example?
Yeah.
The need of that, because I can count money, it's okay. So I don't need a very stressing or very complicated formula about
Yeah.
mathematics, right? So deep learning will have, hopefully, can have our students will with a deeper understanding about what they are learning for, why they learn it, and then how they can implement what they had learned. I think that's.
Wow, cool. Yeah. Anything to ask? Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So, ma'ams, let's talk about the implementations, ma'am. Could you share a simple example of what deep learning looks like in English classroom?
Okay, it's very specific in English class.
Yeah.
For example, based on your experience, maybe your English teacher ever asked you to memorize something.
Yes, a
Memorize
lot,
word,
like, yeah.
vocabulary list, like you have to practice conversation drills or something.
Yes.
Just to help you to improve your speaking ability or speaking pronunciation. Okay.
Yes.
But by implementing the deep learning, yeah, it is the way how the teacher teach English may be changed, may be transformed into
Okay.
a real task context.
Okay, real
Why I
task
say a real
context.
task context? Because by deep learning, the teacher can create a scenario of learning that is very closely related to the student. For
Okay.
example, instead of asking the student to memorize or the vocabulary list, the teacher can ask the student to create a real time talk session like this.
Okay, yeah.
Just like podcast, for example.
Okay.
The teacher can ask them to create a podcast, and then in creating that podcast, the process will be starting from they have to prepare the script, they have to prepare the topic, they have to prepare to choose who is the speakers, and then maybe they have to make an interview with the speakers. By this process, they can improve the English, right, in that podcast. And that podcast is a real text situation.
Okay.
And it's directly implemented. And after that, they learn, and they in that process they may find that learning English is something like things that have to be practiced, actually, not to be memorized. It should be practically implemented in the real situation. So they can learn vocabulary on that process. They can learn about how to speak properly in that process. They can learn about how to communicate with others in this process, and they can directly implement their knowledge about in using English, right?
Okay. Well,
so it's very interesting. And then that student nowadays is very eager. They have that point of enjoyment when others appreciate the effort to have that product. So the final is product. This is our podcast. I interviewed people. I asked people with English. They give response in English. So this is the real product that we create in that podcast. So it become more deeper than just asking the student, you memorize this list word.
Okay.
This is your task. Just limited in that part. That's a very simple.
Okay, well,
example.
it's interesting, by the way, teman anak muda. Yeah, because let's just say that memorizing, menghafal is a traditional way, and di saat itu datang deep learning and then change the way we learn.
Yes.
So we've talked earlier about the positive things, ma'am. So let's just talk about, tadi menarik, ma'am sudah mengatakan students are engage well ketika mereka involved in the deep learning. So let's just say let's now talk about the negative side. Is there any negative sides about for example, are the students afraid to try? Because at the same time, we understand that different students have different level of confidence. So is that a trouble? For that.
Yeah, I got the point. That's a very interesting question. Since that this is a new thing, so it needs time to be accustomed to adapt it to this approach, and it is not an easy way. I may say like that. Every teacher, every student have their struggle in teaching or in learning. Even teachers nowadays, they still fighting about the concept of this. How can I implement deep
because
learning?
it's new,
it is new, and then they already thought that this is a very consuming in time, consuming in effort, consuming in whatever it, And then sometimes the teacher also consider about the big class they have to teach. If I have to implement this deep learning, that I have to concern individual by individual, and this is very consuming energy and your time. So this is one of the very big challenges, right? And to the student, another side to the student, that this process will take a very long process. This is not one night process, right? Learning is not one night process.
I understand.
It needs process. We have to evaluate in sometimes, and then we did again, evaluate again, and we need collaboration between teacher and students in this facing these challenges. I'm not saying this is without any disadvantage or negative side. I'm not saying that, because everything has two sides, right?
Yes.
But we can limit that negative side by building up collaboration, because this is one aspect of deep learning that should be improved. The collaboration between teacher and student.
Okay, well, sorry to cut you, ma'am. This is this is important. This is cool. But at the same time, may I know from your perspective, maybe is Indonesia, is Indonesia ready enough to, to, how do I say it, menerima or to, menggunakan to use this kind of deep learning? Because it seems like kalau kita lihat keadaan sekarang, well, like you told us earlier, menambahkan suatu hal yang baru, which is we take times.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so how is the response of Indonesia in the way of your perspective?
In my perspective, there is nothing we call as impossible, right?
Yeah.
Everything is possible. The one thing is very important that we want to do it. We want to change that. The first thing, when the first time deep learning being introduced to our new curriculum, there is training.
Okay.
In that training, the participant firstly introduced by what is called by growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Wow.
The first
okay.
thing that the government do that. Change the mindset of teachers, change the mindset of
students,
student as
Yeah.
well, because the foundation of everything is our mindset. When we come to talk about when we have a positive mindset, so it will effective the way how we think. Right?
Yes, I agree.
And then when we thought that deep learning positively can give big effect to our educational, then the spirit of change should come follow it that mindset. So change our mindset is the basic, I think.
Okay, the basics.
And then as an Indonesian, as a country, I think we prepared for this one.
Okay.
The government has already put a big effort to do this, from the pilot project until the declaration of the new approach deep learning to our curriculum. So the government changed the mindset. Now it's time for us as educators to follow up that one.
Okay.
Change our mindset. Change the way how we teach. It is not. I'm saying it's not that the way how we teach previously is wrong. No.
Yeah.
No, please no. So change is not basically because we did wrong. No.
Okay.
Change is something that we want to prove.
Okay,
we
improve.
want to improve.
Yes.
We want to be increase more to the next level.
Yeah.
That's the mindset, right?
Okay.
So every new thing we accept with the positive mindset will be more easier,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I think that's as Indonesian we are ready.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, so
this-
Indonesian is ready enough.
yes,
Yeah.
ready enough for that.
Okay.
Alright, ma'am. So based on your experience, ma'am, what is the biggest challenges of the teacher face when trying to implement deep learning in their classrooms, ma'am?
Okay, in terms of teaching and learning in the classroom, the big challenge faced by the teacher, according to my observation, according to my dialogue with some teachers from some schools, they said, besides it is a new things, they have to learn again, and then the multitasking task of the teachers. That's one of the challenge, to prepare the materials, prepare the media, they have to prepare again, right? And then sometimes they don't have much time to do that all kind of thing, that administration stuff. This is the real thing that the teacher shares with me. We want the thing, we want to be changed. We will do it, but sometimes don't have much time to do that all kind of things in the same time. So give us time, give us some time to be accustomed to be adapted to that new situation. That's the first is the time consuming.
Yes.
And then there is still teachers. Sorry to say, they don't want to move from the safe zone.
Okay.
They don't want to be challenged with the new thing. They say this is very hard.
Okay,
it's
so they are using the traditional way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm already comfortable with my way of teaching. I don't want to add something new.
Oh,
What is it
okay.
for? Say like that. Yeah, this kind of thing can be one of the challenging. That's basically back to the mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's back to the mindset. So when this mindset is already been rooted in someone's individual, needs time to change that. So that can be some of the challenges.
Well, yes, ma'am. So, talking about the challenges, which is at the same time kita melihat there's a lot of things to fix at the same time.
Yeah.
So, the first thing that we want to know, maybe teman anak muda juga mau tahu, ma'am, is that are UMSU already implementing deep learning, which is at this, let's just make it specific, like English Education Study Program. Have they actually created? Include this deep learning into the learning process. So from you as a lecturer, we want to know.
Yes, I think we are in FKPS specifically actually had already implemented this kind of approach, but by the concept of deep learning, this being strengthened more.
Yeah.
You see that in your class,
Yes.
for example, your teacher always your lecturer maybe ask you invite you to have that kind of critical thinking.
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to think something.
Yeah.
Critical thinking is one part of the deep learning. Yeah.
Okay.
But in the deep learning, this critical thinking being strengthened by the implementing in the real text situation.
Oh, okay.
So you're just not thinking, but after you have that
It's
that
more
kind
practical.
of you can implement it in
Yeah.
your real situation. You use your knowledge to solve
Okay.
your problem.
Yeah.
Right. That's the point of you learn deeper than the surface structure. Just to know that critical thinking is the process of thinking something blah and blah.
Yeah, okay.
But after that, you forget about it.
Okay.
But when you got the point, and after you have do that critical thinking, you implemented that idea in your real life situation. That the point of deep learning.
Okay, so what is the main purpose of this deep learning actually means? I mean, like, what are what are the country and also the system expected the students to be? I mean, the outcomes from deep learning actually.
Actually, from the deep learning perspective, it's hope that when we ask students about what did you learn, okay, and then the answer is not like what did you have memorized.
Yeah, okay.
Right? It will be changed into what have you learned? Apa yang sudah dipelajari?
Okay.
And then what do you feel about that one? You feel happy or you feel nervous
Stressed, yeah.
or you feel stressful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to know further about the implication, the effect of the knowledge itself by the students. That's the point of finding the joyful in learning.
Oh, okay.
Joyful does not mean that the teacher should be like a crowd or pelawak
Yeah,
gitu in front
yeah,
of the
yeah,
student. It's not
yeah.
that mean.
Yeah.
You should be not doing stand-up comedy all the time in your
Yes,
class.
yes.
That's not the point of joyful. But the joyful is the process of finding the aha moment. We say
Oh,
that
yeah,
aha moment, yeah.
aha.
When you got something, it's something like that. That's the aha moment. So
Okay.
finding that aha moment is the joyful one,
Okay,
right?
well, yeah.
So, yeah, it's very nice, right?
Yeah, it's something new.
Okay, ma'am. So about the growth mindset, some of the students always think about the growth mindset is not important because it's not based on context, ma'am. So in your opinion, how the students can grow mindset when the object of the lessons didn't support him to improve their skills, ma'am?
Okay, since I learn about deep learning sejak mengenal dan mempelajari deep learning. The one insight that I got is about the growth mindset.
The growth mindset.
So in my class, before I started my lesson, I used to talk about growth mindset to my student. I just want to know in what perspective they want to join the English department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are the purpose of their doing or they are learning English? What are their purpose? It is only follow their parents' guidance. It is following their friends. So it is pure because they are very interested in learning English.
Yeah.
This kind of perspective can help me to further conduct my teaching and learning in my class.
Okay.
And for sometimes I try to persuade.
Yeah.
I say persuade ya.
Yeah.
To menggoda sedikit mahasiswa saya untuk they have to change their mindset.
Yes.
And then in the school context, this kind of mindset, teacher itu bisa membantu murid merubah pola belajar, pola berpikirnya dari merubah kata tidak bisa misalnya you can't do this menjadi you can't do this yet. You put yet.
Okay, yeah.
There will be different kind of perspective, meaning,
yeah,
right? Sometimes
yeah.
when someone say kamu tidak bisa dengan kamu belum bisa,
Yeah,
that
it's
will be different,
it's different,
right?
yeah.
Kata belum, it's content of at this time maybe you can't do this, but next time
Yeah.
you can do this.
Yes,
Ya.
yes.
Jadi hari ini mungkin tidak bisa, tapi nanti akan bisa karena ada kata belum.
Yeah.
Jadi kita tidak mematahkan, tidak menutup kemungkinan siswa kita untuk berkembang.
Betul.
Dan kita menanamkan mindset itu. Jadi sebagai seorang guru, as a teacher or as a lecturer, kita mengupayakan untuk menghindari kata tidak bisa kepada mahasiswa atau murid kita. Jangan mengatakan you can't do this. Just accept it. You can't do this. It's very it's very saya bilang mematikan karakter gitu ya. Instead of saying that, mungkin kita bisa bilang kamu belum bisa saat ini, but yakinlah nanti kamu akan bisa. So there will be next process of learning. Jadi dia akan terus belajar. Ketika kita bilang belum bisa, dia akan terus belajar. Oh nanti pasti saya akan bisa. Dan di saat another time when your student have achieve something, kita bisa menghindari kata selamat ya kamu hebat. Hindari kalimat itu, karena dia akan berhenti di situ.
It's a self satisfaction.
Self satisfactionnya akan berhenti di situ loh. Saya sudah hebat dong, jadi saya ngapain lagi gitu. I don't need to learn more. Tapi coba rubah dengan kamu bekerja keras untuk sampai di sini, usaha kamu sudah luar biasa. Saya nantikan kabar bagus berikutnya. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think your student will think
Yes,
if you
yes.
say that? Ya kan artinya dia akan, saya masih harus belajar lagi dong. Pencapaian saya ini baru sampai sini sudah bagus, tapi saya ingin yang lebih baik. Instead of saying kamu sudah hebat, udah dia akan berhenti di situ.
Wow, that's cool. That's a different mindset, I guess, because
That's mindset, right?
yeah, because all the time we always, appreciate people like you sudah bagus and then you are good.
Because we not appreciate the process.
Yeah,
We just appreciate the result.
That's a problem.
Everybody talk.
Everybody talk about the result, I guess. Well,
we just see someone when they achieve something, we just see the achievement, but
Yeah.
we don't see the process of how this person can achieve that achievement. It's very long journey, right?
Okay. Yeah, I get the point. So that mungkin karena itu juga, ma'am, eventually people are afraid to do the process because at the same time people only see the results.
Yeah.
Well,
By deep learning, we have to see the process
And
first.
then, and then
to be number one in class is not that easy.
yeah,
right?
that's a problem. Well, it is also the problem for the now generation.
And people around us only see the
The result,
one.
yeah.
They don't know.
They only appreciate the results. Yes, and it's just become the problem.
So that's
yeah.
the real mindset. If you have that mindset, you will be the champion.
Yeah.
When you be at the top, you will not be so over proud of yourself.
Yes.
And then when you are at the bottom, you will not be down. Tidak merasa terjatuhkan walaupun sudah berada di bawah.
Because you are enjoying the process, not the
Yes.
result. Yes. Okay.
Oke teman-teman anak muda, karena pembahasan kita ini sudah makin menarik nih dan juga sudah menunjukkan pukul jam 9.30 WIB. Nah, if you have some questions guys about this topic or you want to give some suggest for the next period, and you can chat in the message or you can message to the Sis Yomi.
Kamu harus tahu, UMSU terus melangkah lebih jauh menuju kampus berkelas dunia karena menjalin kerjasama dengan Malaysia Qualification Agency, lembaga akreditasi pendidikan tinggi dari Malaysia. Ini artinya, ijazah lulusan UMSU punya pengakuan internasional dan sudah terakreditasi MQA. Ini jadi peluang besar buat kamu yang ingin berkarir atau melanjutkan studi ke luar negeri. Karena bagi UMSU, masa depan mahasiswa adalah prioritas. UMSU siap melahirkan generasi berkualitas yang dipercaya dunia. UMSU, unggul, cerdas, terpercaya.
Gimana? Sudah tahu tentang UMSU? Tunggu apa lagi? Daftar segera dan ayo jadi bagian dari UMSU. Info selengkapnya kunjungi penbaru.umsu.ac.id. UMSU, unggul, cerdas, terpercaya. Bingung mau kuliah di mana? Ayo, kamu harus tahu tentang UMSU.
Siapa bilang kualitas kuliah internasional harus jauh-jauh ke luar negeri? UMSU udah duluan mencetak prestasi membanggakan. 4 program studinya berhasil meraih akreditasi internasional FIBE A, lembaga akreditasi bergengsi asal Jerman. Prodi Manajemen dan Akuntansi Fakultas Ekonomi Bisnis UMSU, serta Manajemen Bisnis Syariah dan Perbankan Syariah Fakultas Agama Islam UMSU kini telah diakui memenuhi standar pendidikan internasional. Kalau kualitasnya udah mendunia, pilihan kuliahnya ya cuman UMSU.
Gimana? Sudah tahu tentang UMSU? Tunggu apa lagi? Daftar segera dan ayo jadi bagian dari UMSU. Info selengkapnya kunjungi penbaru.umsu.ac.id. UMSU, unggul, cerdas, terpercaya.
This is UMSU FM.
Okay, teman anak muda, welcome back on our station. And Yomi still with Sunrise, Fadil, and Mem Rini. As usual, Mem and Fadil and Sunrise.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question first.
Okay,
before
okay,
you
okay,
read the
yeah.
question from the listener,
Yeah.
because I'm still confused about this concept of deep learning.
Yeah.
But Mem, I have a question. Like, it's for English course that. Have a concept like outing class, like study tour. Is it the bagian dari deep learning or not?
Yeah.
What do you think, ma'am?
Thank you very much for the question, Miss.
Yes.
Very interesting question. Yes, in the curriculum Merdeka, we have that kind of activity before, like outing class. We
Yes.
implemented that. So this approach, I see it previously that not change the curriculum. It is
Okay.
not a new curriculum. It's being added to curriculum Merdeka. This approach,
Yes.
kan? So the activity like outing class
Yes.
can still be implemented, but we have to be considered more about the purpose of that outing class. It should touch the real life of our students. Jadi
okay.
kegiatan outing class itu harus benar-benar menyentuh
Yes.
lingkungan dari murid kita. Jadi outing class itu bukan harus pergi keluar dari sekolah misalnya. Mungkin hanya dalam lingkungan sekolah saja kegiatan itu dapat dilakukan. Selama itu memang dekat dengan lingkungan anak kita. Oke, jadi deep learning ini membantu kita mengidentifikasi sebenarnya identify the exact or the closest point of the learning. Tujuan dari pembelajaran itu untuk apa? What is it for? And then the students should feel that this kind of learning, the material that they learn will give effect later on to their lives. Jadi apa yang mereka pelajari hari ini itu akan memberi dampak positif pada diri mereka nanti setelah mereka melewati proses belajar itu. Gitu. Jadi kalau outing classnya itu memang positively effective their characters, adding their knowledge, school can add that part as part of the implementation of deep learning. Deep learning is not curriculum. That's you should remember. Deep learning is an approach of teaching and learning.
Okay.
So you can still use curriculum Merdeka and curriculum K13. Even curriculum K13, you can still use that curriculum with the tambahan dari pendekatan deep learning itu yang memiliki 3 prinsip dan 3 pengalaman belajar. Prinsipnya tadi itu mindful, meaningful, and joyful. Pengalaman belajar yang ingin diberikan, learning experience yang ingin diberikan itu ada memahami, merefleksi, dan mengaplikasi. Jadi memahami, selain memahami dia juga harus bisa mengaplikasi. Setelah akhirnya nanti dia harus bisa merefleksi. Jadi setiap kegiatan pembelajaran itu diharapkan menjunjung 3 prinsip ini dan 3 pengalaman belajar ini, membawanya bersama.
Okay.
Itu.
Okay, one more.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think, ma'am, like with this concept of deep learning, is it? We know that English is very important for us. Like since primary, we should students must speak English well because for their future, English is very important and they can speak English. So, is this concept deep learning is the best solution to primary or first senior high school to can speak English?
Okay, if we say that this is the best thing, I think that is very overclaiming, right?
Yeah, okay.
The solution, I mean like the solution. I mean like the solution lah.
Kita terlalu ambisius berharap ini adalah memang salah satu cara untuk upgrading our education level. Boleh saja sih sebenarnya kita memiliki ambisi seperti itu. But still, we have to be realistic that this is a very new thing and we still adapt to it.
Okay.
So it needs process. Just like I said before, that learning is process. So we have to appreciate every process that the teachers, the student did at school. For whatever it is, for whatever the form, whatever the implementation, they try to make it the best way as the solution of our educational problem. But still is need to be more and more back again to our mindset. Do we want to change? If we want to make this as our what we say sebagai senjata utama kita bersama, nothing possible, right? Nothing impossible. So but that this moment, we just try to make this as our new tools to improve our educational level.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have the same mindset,
Yes.
the new vision, ya kan?
Yeah.
Mindset kita sama, visinya sama, misinya sama.
Yes.
Mudah-mudahan kan gitu. Tapi kalau dibilang this is the very best way, nanti semua orang akan, terus yang kemarin gimana gitu kan? That's not really mean that deep learning change or claim that to be the one and only, but deep learning being assisted side by side
Yes.
with the previous one that the teacher had conducted before.
Okay.
It is not proclaiming that I'm the best one. No, I'm accompanying that what you have did. I help you to make it more deeper than the other.
Than the
So it
previous
will be so it will be better than the previous one. This is
Okay.
Okay, done from me. So I give this session to you, Sunrise and Fadil.
Okay, well.
All right, ma'am. So we have some the questioner from the listener, and then the first one is from Mr. Arif, an English teacher from Tambun, and he asked to you, ma'am. Now many students prefer to find instant answer on the internet or AI. How can the concept of deep learning make students truly understand the material, not just memorizing?
Okay, we have to be realistic that AI nowadays is very challenging.
Yes.
Ya. Sangat menantang sekali kehadiran AI ini bagi kita di akademik ya, dunia akademik. Khususnya teachers yang studentnya pasti menjadi salah satu yang terdampak dengan AI. And then not all teachers accept AI as tools of teaching and learning, right? Some of them maybe just rejected AI totally in their learning teaching process. Jadi secara total dia menolak nih menggunakan AI, dia sendiri tidak menggunakan AI, apalagi muridnya gitu misalnya. There's still teachers like that, yeah. But as a new innovation, we call it innovation in our world nowadays. I think that we can skip that.
We cannot skip that.
Skip that.
Yeah.
The one thing that we can do is accept it, customize it. Jadi terima dan kita sesuaikan dengan kebutuhan kita. So in deep learning, you can being assisted by AI, but as teacher, we have to remember that we are the one that control our class. So if the student memang tidak bisa terhindar dan tidak menggunakan AI, so we guide them how to use AI objectively, secara bertanggung jawab gitu. Jadi apapun yang mereka kerjakan dengan AI, mereka harus mempertanggungjawabkan. Instead of we are rejecting everything gitu. Jadi daripada kita menolak gitu, nanti akan berbenturan, akan selalu berbentur jika kita hanya menolak. Karena mau tidak mau kan itu memang sebagai salah satu hal yang tidak bisa kita hindari lah, kita katakan sekarang ini gitu kan. Jadi penggunaan AI dengan bantuan deep learning justru akan memperkuat nih deep learning. We can say that you may use your AI, but you still have to remember that AI is only a tools. You are the one and only the source of knowledge.
Yes.
We can put that point right
Mm.
to our student. Jadi whatever AI you are using, you have to remember that you are the one and only who have that knowledge. Ya kan, jadi AI ini kan bekerja kalau kita katakan dengan perintah atau prompt. Di istilah kita tuh prompt. Yang membuat prompt siapa?
Kita.
Yeah,
So,
the source.
So you are the one and only the source
Yes.
of the prompt.
Yes.
Kalau cuma lihat AI-nya saja, kita lihatin aja, emang AI-nya bisa mentransfer apa yang kita inginkan. So kita harus keep the prompt.
Yeah.
So untuk menjaga agar murid kita tidak membuat perintah yang asal-asal gitu atau asal masuk aja gitu. Ya, we as teacher guide them how to make a wise prompt. Bagaimana prompt yang bijak, bagaimana prompt yang tetap menjaga keautentikan dari pengetahuan kita, seperti itu. Jadi still we are the one and only, I say like that, the source of the AI. AI is only a tools. Like you want to cut something, you have to choose the kind of knife, right? Ada pisau daging, pisau buah, pisau sayur, kan gitu.
Yeah.
Kita nggak bisa memakai pisau untuk semua kebutuhan. Sama dengan AI untuk belajar ada, AI untuk ini ada.
Betul.
So kita lah yang memilih. Gitu. Jadi ya, karena kita tidak bisa menghindari, kenapa kita tidak membiasakan mengcustom sesuai dengan kebutuhan kita, AI itu kita gunakan untuk apa, seperti itu. Jadi
Oke,
akan lebih
wow.
bijaksana gitu kan
Yes.
ketika kita menggunakan AI itu. Karena memang itu salah satu inovasi saat ini.
Yes,
Kalau
yes.
memang dia tidak berterima oleh masyarakat global, ya, kita secara global pun AI ini tidak akan berkembang pesat seperti sekarang.
Yeah.
Padahal dulu kalau kita boleh balik dulu ya, seperti maaf kalau saya sebut merek ya, search engine lah zaman dulu yang kita ketahui
Yeah.
bersama tuh kan ada ya.
Yeah, yeah.
Itu kan juga sudah AI sebenarnya.
Betul.
Ya kan?
It's a small part of
That's
AI.
only small part of AI.
Yeah.
Nah setelahnya karena kebutuhan itu bertambah, the need, the demands of that kind of search engine mesin, ya, developer mengembangkanlah bentuk AI sesuai dengan kebutuhan yang kita inginkan, seperti itu.
Okay, so let me just conclude it. Let's just make a simple conclusion
Okay.
that so AI cannot be
Replaced.
replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, it is important nowadays. Not just let's just say the world is going global and also and this is one of the most important thing. And tadi kalau Mr. Arif bertanya, so how can the concept of deep learning make students really understand the material, which is at the same time setelah dijelaskan tadi oleh Mem Rini, I take a small conclusion that AI helps the way students learn, but the way we control,
AI is
like the learning system inside the class is the job of the teacher. So when the teacher is good enough to understand the concept of deep learning, at the same time, the students will actually, enjoy, and it will not be only staying on memorizing, but also implementing.
Yeah.
Based on the help of AI, at the same time, based of the knowledge of the students. Well, we got the second question here, ma'am, from Bayu dari Sunggau. Well, hello, Mas Bayu. Waktu kuliah dulu sering menghafal materi menjelang ujian. Well, we cannot say. Yeah.
Everybody do that.
Yeah, everybody do that. It's a traditional
It's
way.
very
Setelah
common.
lulus ternyata banyak yang lupa nih, ma'am.
Yeah.
Nah, menurut ma'am apakah konsep deep learning ini memang hadir untuk mengubah pola belajar seperti itu? Ya.
Oke, thank you, Mas. Siapa tadi namanya?
Mas
Bayu.
Bayu ya dari Sunggal ya. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Mas Bayu. I think that's all everybody problems ya.
Yeah,
Itu
everybody's
adalah
problem.
permasalahan kita semua ya. From our experience that we learn just when we want to face the exam, right?
Yeah.
We read the book just when we want to
And
face the
then
exam.
we memorize it all
And
the
then
time.
We memorize it SKS, sistem kebutuhan,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's everybody method. So, one of the purpose of this deep learning, salah satu tujuan dari deep learning ini adalah menggeser, merubah ya, membantu untuk merubah pola from just memorizing the material, just memorizing the topics. It changes to understanding the topic. Because why? When we understand about topic, it does not really mean kalau sudah paham kita ndak mesti harus mengingat. Kalau kami bilang dulu mengingat sampai titik dan komanya gitu.
Yeah.
Misalnya ada teori titik komanya harus sama, tidak boleh beda, bahkan redaksinya harus sama. Itu kalau kuncinya kita di menghafal. But when we understand, we know the concept, and then we can explore and elaborate the concept based on our understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the key point of learning, right? We got something new about the topic. That's the thing that we learn actually. So it's hopefully that by implementing this kind of deep learning, the teacher can help the students moving from their safe zone, memorizing, into another zone that is understanding.
Okay.
When they understand something, they don't need actually to fully memorize that kind of
Yeah.
because they already understand. That's
Yes,
the key
yes.
point. So to put this understanding is very hard actually, right? Because that's the situation. We just
Yes,
read book
yeah.
when we want to
Yeah.
face our examination.
It's also Indonesian has not a lot of interest in.
And one thing, the other effect of memorizing, that after we got what we want to achieve by that memorizing, just pass the exam, for example, and then we forget.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I experience a lot. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Kalau sudah
Yeah.
hafal untuk ujian, terus ujian nih,
Udah
kebetulan
siap.
hafalannya masuk nih semua. Masuk yang gua hafal nih. Tapi habis itu kita tanya, terus ini mana? Entahlah, aku lupa.
Yeah.
Jawabannya
I
gitu.
cannot lie. So
Udah lah, yang penting ujiannya lewat.
and there is the there is a way that I always use
Memorizing, right?
Yeah, all the time from my senior high school until my high school.
It does not really mean that memorizing is not good.
Yes, I understand.
Memorizing is good as well, but it is being more better if you also understand about what you are memorizing.
Yeah.
What about you are memorized of? What is it for? What is it for you memorize that vocabulary list every day?
Yeah.
What is it for? Ya, tujuannya kan biar bisa menggunakan kata-kata itu later on. Tapi kalau sudah memorize and then you did not use that, you will forget.
Yes.
Ini berlaku di belajar bahasa Inggris. Sudah memang everybody say that vocabulary comes first, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
sentence comes
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
right? Jadi kata-kata tuh duluan, bikin kalimat belakangan. Nah, tapi biasanya kita kalau sudah hafal,
Lupa.
nggak mau meneruskannya buat kalimat.
Yeah.
Udah sampai bikin hafal kata-katanya aja.
Yes.
Membuat kalimatnya nanti dulu. Apalagi sampai ke praktis menggunakan kalimat, bener nggak?
Yes,
Nah,
yes.
Jadi dengan pendekatannya ini diharapkan memorizing itu tidak berhenti just on that memorized part, tapi diteruskan.
Consistent.
Yeah, okay. So being added, yeah. So the
Jadi
first.
Mas Bayu itu udah bener nih sebenarnya sudah memorize. Nah
Yeah.
sekarang Mas Bayu stepnya tinggal meneruskan apa yang sudah dihafal itu.
Okay, wow, that's cool. So Mas Bayu, we have the same problem actually, yeah.
That's all.
That's all of people
That our
problems.
problems,
like.
right?
Yeah, because like the main thing that comes into my mind right after I finish exam is it's not that thing. I forgot all of what I did.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
human.
as
That's
I memorized a lot of things and then I wrote it on the
You
the
make
answer
note,
paper.
right?
Yeah,
You make note.
yeah, I make notes and then I
Write
wrote it
out.
in the answer paper and then I forgot all of the things
After you
without
finish that,
implementing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I now I understand why understanding is important.
Understand.
Because now as I learn at UMSU, specifically at English education, I learn different way of the way I learn at high school and also junior high school.
of course.
Because here I'm taught to learn and understand more rather than only memorizing some parts of the lessons. Because at the same time I understand why I need that, and at the same time I understand why this should be implemented.
And you happy about it.
Yes.
That's the joyful point.
Yeah, that is
So you
enjoying.
understand, you implemented it, and you understand why it should be implemented that way, and why it can help you to solving your problem. Then you got that kind of
Yes,
feeling.
yes.
I'm satisfied with this.
Yeah.
That's joyful.
Yeah.
So when you ask about whether this deep learning can be implemented at university level, and I can directly say
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
based on your experience, right?
Yeah.
So basically, deep learning is not something new, right?
Yeah.
If that's the way, but maybe we don't still have name for that kind of
Yeah, if only deep learning has come earlier.
so we can name it deep learning.
Yeah.
We just don't have that kind, because the same situation already happened when I'm interact with teachers. They said, if this concept of deep learning is like this, it means that I already implemented it in my class. Yes, actually, but we don't still have name for
Yeah,
that. I say like
yeah.
that.
Yes.
Now you have the name deep
Yes.
learning, so it will be much easier for you, ma'am, sir, to implement this, because you had already implementing this. You just have to strengthen what you had been implementing
Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes, yes,
long
yes,
with this kind of concept, because you have guidance.
Yeah.
The government give you guidance. This is the guidance for you. You can improve your materials. You can improve your teaching and learning method and strategy. You can improve your assessment, for example. All the time, maybe our assessment is only written assessment.
Yes.
Now you can have another kind of assessment. You can have portfolio assessment. You can have performance assessment.
Yes.
So menguji murid itu tidak hanya harus written test gitu.
Yeah.
Sekarang ada portofolio, ada project dan sebagainya. So it's improve the way how you teach. Kalau dibilang tidak pernah melakukan assess, kan nggak mungkin teacher nggak pernah melakukan assessment. Tapi sekarang ada dibantu dengan menambahkan assessment yang lebih spesifik, lebih terarah lagi dengan tujuan belajar.
Okay, ma'am. Well, there's a lot of consideration about deep learning ya, teman anak muda. So this is why you should come to English English on Air at UMSU FM every Thursday, because we're discussing a lot of things that maybe teman-teman anak muda belum tahu. Okay, so for the final question, ma'am, as also we have limited time, we actually want to talk more. Ya, teman-teman anak muda pasti mau dengar lebih banyak ya, Dil ya. But because we have limited time, I got the last question. Maybe if you could give one message to the future teacher about deep learning, what would that be?
This is for everybody, including me. That when we teach, don't think about not only teach to finish your syllabus, right? Yeah, but give the student the real experience of learning. Let them know the important about what they are learning now, the important of the knowledge that they got today for their futures. Yeah. So don't limit your teaching and learning activity only to reach the limit of your syllabus, the limit of your RPS. Yeah, but the exact thing that think about your students, how they experience the learning.
Okay.
Jangan belajar menjadi ketakutan seperti itu. Jadikan belajar itu menjadi kebutuhan dan kebiasaan.
Okay.
Jadi teacher sekarang tidak concern only about the finishing their syllabus, finishing their materials. That's to all of us.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, wow, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insight with us
Yes,
today.
you're welcome.
And
Yeah, well, I think teman anak muda kita sedikit conclude today's discussion. Well, today's discussion has actually shows us that deep learning is not just a trend. Well, nowadays it becomes a trend because it pops up a lot on internet. But yeah, it's more. Deep learning is more than that. You need to know that, and you need to implement that, because I myself, the one has had the experience of memorizing and change my way into understanding. I feel a lot of effect inside it, and now I'm enjoying learning.
Yeah.
Because for the last time, learning is a burden for me, and now I'm enjoying learning. So it is an approach that encourages meaningful learning, of course, and then critical thinking at the same time, and lifelong learning. And now I'm feeling all of them at the same time. Okay, so yeah, we hope a lot of things comes into this conversation, this discussion. And teman anak muda, don't forget we have this program, English on Air, every Thursday at 10 a.m.
Yes.
Okay, only on UMSU FM 91.6. So teman anak muda, don't miss. Terima kasih kepada Ma'am Rini, which is we are very happy to have you here. We are very happy. Teman anak muda juga pasti sangat berbahagia to listen Kak Yomi ya. The experiences and also the understanding of the meaning of deep learning from the Indonesian context. So that is all from us. We'll see you soon, dan teman-teman anak muda, see you on the next episode. Saya kembalikan ke Kak Yomi.
Okay, thank you so much Sunrise and Fadil and listeners. That's all about today's discussion, and I hope that today's discussion about deep learning has reminded us that meaningful learning is not about memorizing more, but it's about understanding better, critical thinking, and growing together. And thank you so much for Ma'am Rini for sharing this very insightful topic, the purpose of the deep learning, and especially for me, this is my first time to know that this concept of the deep learning. And teman anak muda, we will see you on next Thursday on the same program of English on Air from English Department of UMSU of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara. And see you on the next English on Air.
Okay.
Review from you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Nice talk, man.
Oh, hai Sana.
Bro, jujur deh, bahasa Inggris lo sekarang beda banget, lancar parah.